Hougang Condo can buy or really buy. Hi, my name is Alan from Alan We Property. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm going to talk about Hougang condominiums after my usual morning run. I will cover condominiums around Hougang MRT station and towards Upper Serangoon Crescent. I will cover a mixture of old, new and just TOP condos. They are mainly on 99 years leasehold tenure. For the study, I will compare them to a reference year so that we will have consistent results in our analysis. I will use 2018 as a reference point as this is the year Riverfront Residence was launched for sale. Here, do you want to make a guess? Which condo will outperform and which condo will underperform? Will it be the 1000 units Kingsford Water Bay? What about the just TOP Riverfront Residence? How about Midtown Residence, which is directly next to Hougang MRT station? What about newer condos such as Boathouse Residence, Riversail, Park Vera, and Heron Bay? How about older condos such as Evergreen Park, the Floradale, and Roy Vista? I'm very sure many of you will guess wrongly. I'm equally surprised by the results. For the second part of the video, I will compare the 10 condos from their initial launch price against 2023 prices. This will give us a broader perspective on how well have they performed to date. With that, let's head over to Hougang now. As usual, I will compare the project that fared the worst first. Are you surprised? The number one condo that did not perform up to expectation is Kingsford Water Bay. Kingsford is a mega project with 1157 condos and 8 landed units. It's 2 government land sales combined into one and next to Hougang Serangoon. But wait, the negative 1% may not be reflective in its true performance as it had yet to TOP. Let's excuse it this time round. The second condo is Midtown Residence next to Hougang MRT station. It's a mixed development with shops on the lower floor, which is also known as the Midtown. The Midtown Residence has 160 units and mainly comprise small apartments. Frankly speaking, I'm not a die-hard fan of such projects. Small development, high PSF, high maintenance, plus noise and fumes from the commercial units. The third condo is Riverfront Residence. Its average selling price is 1313 PSF. Today, it's trending around 1006 PSF. This means it has appreciated by 22% to date. Is this an attractive return for the new launch condominium? Well, let's watch to the end to find out more. The next 3 condos, Boathouse Residence, Riversail, and Park Vera, are relatively newer condos that are less than 10 years old. They have achieved a return from 22% to 24%. Not too bad in my opinion for the mass market condos that is not near any MRT stations. What really surprised me are older condos such as Roy Vista, Evergreen Park, and the Floradale. They are mainly built in the early 2000s. They are about 20 plus years old. Interestingly, their performance range from 34% to even 43%. I'm equally surprised that the old resale condos are doing so well. I will share my observation in the later part of this video. On another note, I can still recall when Riverfront Residence was selling at 1003 PSF. I've asked some of my buyers to consider Kensington Park in nearby Serangoon Garden. Kensington Park is an old 999 years old condominium with 394 units. I remember the going rate was only 1000 plus per square feet. I've always asked myself, it doesn't make sense that 999 years old condominiums are selling lower than 99 years new launch condos. Out of curiosity, I plug in Kensington Park data. Voila! Kensington Park achieved a stunning 45% return in just 5 years. As I always say, old is always gold. Don't underestimate old condos. Here, let me quickly compare them against their initial launch price. Again, Midtown Residence fared the poorest at 9%. Riverfront and Kingsford at 22% to 23% respectively. Condos that are launched in the early 2010s, such as Boathouse, Riversail, and Park Vera, have made a capital gain of 38 to 48%. This shows that property price will always go up in the long run. So please, buy a property with a mid to long-term perspective. Heron Bay, which is an executive condominium, did exceptionally well with a 64% return to date. This is higher than Riversail performance, which was launched almost at the same time. In my opinion, buying an EC is a no-brainer, provided you meet the eligibility requirement, have a lot of cash, plus do not exceed the income ceiling. You are good to make a fortune upon MOP. The older condos such as Roy Vista, Evergreen Park, and the Floridale have appreciated by 132 to 140%. What caught my surprise is Evergreen Park. If I add the 999 years Kensington Park to compare, both of them TOP the same year, yet their performance over the past decades are almost comparable. If I measure it against the analyzed return, they are almost on par. One of the reasons why these old condos along this stretch are doing well mainly is because en-bloc owners staying in Rokasa, Serangoon View to Florence Regency prefer cheaper and bigger replacement apartments. This helped to push up its resale value over time. In conclusion, can buy old properties in Hougang? They really depend. Some older ones like Evergreen Park seems attractive for their price, which are below 1,000 per square feet. Even it is a 25 years old condo. Moreover, the layout and sizes are pretty decent for the 3 and 4 bedrooms. That is why there is this saying, 越老越吃香. Now I finally understand why. For those that prefer something newer, you can either go for Boathouse, Park Vera, Riversail to Heron Bay. This is especially suitable for HDB upgraders that are priced out of the private property market. Then what about newer condos such as Riverfront Residence and Kingsford Water Bay? Again, that really depends if you like a new condo, or I call it sui condo. Some are very young and beautiful, and that is why there is a premium for it. Here, I always have a love-hate affair with Hougang. Why is that so? I love Hougang because this is the birthplace of democracy in Singapore. This is also the strong ground of the Workers' Party led by Mr. Liao Takiang. He was the de facto leader of the opposition between 2006 and 2018. Here, let me say a big thank you to him for his contribution to Singapore. Why I hate Hougang? Well, this is because if you compare it to other towns, you can see that the facilities are a little old and tired. Don't get me wrong, the estate is well maintained, except that opposition wards have challenged accessing to state funding. The opposition has raised this issue before, and I hope that Singapore will become a more inclusive society, regardless of who you vote for. After all, we are all Singaporean. Lastly, can buy or really bye-bye to Hougang? Don't ask me. Only Hougang residents will have the final say. Before you leave, I happened to drop by a church located along Punggol, Gaogo. This church is called Catholic Spirituality Center. It's very serene and peaceful. If you are free, you should drop by in to appreciate the architecture. Another church is called the Church of the Nativity of the Blessed Virgin Mary. There is some information on its history. You can walk along the Hougang Heritage Trail to find out more. That's all. Thank you for watching. And if you have any housing plans, you can always contact me for the discussion in Hougang. See you around soon.